He calls you his friend, but every time you're near him, there's a static in the air you can't ignore. It's that look he holds for just a fraction of a second too long, making your own heart skip a beat. It's the way his body seems to gravitate toward yours in a crowded room, as if drawn by an invisible thread. It's the sudden, awkward fumble for words from a man who, with everyone else, is so impossibly confident. His words say one thing: we're just friends. But his actions, his energy, his entire being are telling a completely different story, leaving you trapped in a frustrating and confusing maze of mixed signals. You start to question yourself. Is it all in your head, a product of wishful thinking? Or are you failing to see the clear, undeniable clues he's leaving without even realizing it? Forget what he's saying for a moment. His words are filtered, calculated, and designed to protect him from potential rejection. His body, however, doesn't know how to lie. What if you could decode the signals his body is sending on autopilot? This isn't about wishful thinking or attempting to read his mind. It's about learning to speak and understand the secret, universal language of silent attraction. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on the 7 undeniable signs a man is hiding deeper, more romantic feelings for you. We'll explore the psychology behind why he can't hide these signals, no matter how hard he tries. By the end of this, you won't be guessing anymore. You'll have the clarity you need. You'll know. Let's begin. Sign number 1. The eyes always tell the truth. First up, and it's arguably the most powerful sign, is his eye contact. They're famously called the windows to the soul for a reason. And when it comes to hidden attraction, they're less like windows and more like wide-open doors, offering a direct view of his true feelings. A guy who only sees you as a friend will make normal, casual eye contact. It's pretty fleeting, comfortable, and simply a functional part of the conversation. But a man who secretly likes you can't always control the way he looks at you. And this inability to mask his interest shows up in a few key ways you can totally spot once you know what to look for. First, there's the lingering gaze. When you're talking, a friend might hold your gaze for a few seconds before naturally looking away. A man who's secretly attracted to you will hold it for just a beat longer. It's not a creepy, intense stare. It's a soft, lingering look that feels different. It's loaded with an unspoken emotion. It's as if he's not just hearing the words you're saying, but he's trying to connect on a deeper level that words can't possibly reach. That extra second or two is where the secret slips out. His brain, getting an early hit of attraction-related chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin, is subconsciously pushing him to take in as much of you as possible. Then there's the shy glance away. This is incredibly common, especially with guys who are nervous, less experienced, or trying way too hard to play it cool. You'll catch him looking at you from across the room, or when you're in a group and he thinks you're not paying attention. For a split second, you see his pure, unguarded interest. But the moment you lock eyes and acknowledge his gaze, he darts his away, almost like a child who got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. This isn't disinterest. It's attraction mixed with a powerful dose of anxiety. He's intensely drawn to you, but the fear of his feelings being discovered and the possibility of rejection makes him retreat in a panic. Remember, a guy who isn't interested wouldn't be looking that intently in the first place. Another subtle but powerful cue is pupil dilation. When we're interested in, aroused by, or focused on something we find pleasurable, our pupils can get bigger. This is an involuntary response from the autonomic nervous system, meaning he has absolutely zero control over it. Now, you don't need a flashlight for this, and you must account for the ambient lighting. But if you're in a consistently well-lit place and notice his pupils seem particularly large when he's locked in a conversation with you, it's a pretty strong biological indicator. His brain is essentially shouting, "I like what I see and I want to see more of it." Finally, watch for the triangular gaze. In a normal, platonic conversation, a person's eyes usually go from eye to eye in a straight line. When attraction enters the mix, this pattern often changes. He might look from one of your eyes, down to your lips, and then back up to the other eye, forming a subtle triangle. This is often a subconscious sign that he's thinking about you in a more romantic or physical way. His eyes are instinctively drawn to your mouth, hinting at a desire for more intimacy. It's a subtle shift, but once you learn to recognize it, it's a sign that's almost impossible to misinterpret. Sign number 2, the unconscious dance. The second sign is fascinating because it happens on a deeply subconscious level, making it one of the most honest signals of connection. It's called mirroring, or the chameleon effect, and it's one of the most fundamental ways we build rapport and signal that we are in sync with another person. When a man secretly likes you, he'll often start to unconsciously copy your body language, your gestures, and even the nuances of how you talk, creating a silent dance of connection. Think about your last conversation with him. You crossed your legs, and a few moments later, you noticed he did the same. You leaned forward on your elbows to tell a story, and he leaned in too, closing the space between you. You picked up your glass to take a sip of your drink, and he reached for his at almost the same time. This isn't him consciously playing a game of copycat. It's his brain on autopilot screaming, "Hey, I'm like you. We're on the same wavelength. We're in sync." Psychologically, this is driven by what are called mirror neurons, the parts of the brain that fire when we perform an action and when we see someone else perform that same action. They help us feel empathy and connection, and they go into overdrive when attraction is present. Contrast this with someone who's just a friend. The conversation could be fantastic and engaging, but their body language stays independent of yours. While some degree of mirroring can happen in any friendly situation where people are building rapport, it's often kicked into a much higher gear by romantic attraction. His desire to be liked by you and to feel connected to you makes his brain far more attentive to your every move. You can even gently test this out. When you're chatting, make a deliberate but natural move, like touching your hair, adjusting your glasses, or resting your chin on your hand. Then, just observe. Don't stare or make it obvious. If he's truly interested and in sync with you, you'll often see him make a similar adjustment within the next minute, probably without even realizing why he's doing it. This phenomenon even extends to words. Has he suddenly picked up a quirky phrase you use all the time? Does his speaking rhythm and tone start to match yours over the course of a conversation? That's vocal mirroring, and it's another powerful sign that his interest in you goes way beyond just friends. Sign number 3, the magnetic pull. When a man is secretly into you, his body will often orient itself toward you, like a compass pointing north, regardless of what else is happening around him. This third sign is all about proximity and direction. Even in a packed room, and even if he's engaged in a conversation with someone else, he'll often subconsciously position himself to keep you in his orbit and maintain a subtle connection. The biggest and most reliable tell is the direction of his feet and torso. Body language experts often say that our feet point where we truly want to go. In a group setting, take a discreet look at his feet. Are they angled toward you, even if his head is turned to talk to someone else across the circle? Is his torso mostly squared up and facing you? This shows that you are his main point of focus, his home base. A friend will have a more relaxed, open stance, naturally turning to face different people as they speak. A man with a hidden crush, however, often maintains a home base position, and it's almost always directed right at you. Then there's the simple magnetic pull of proximity. He'll find or create excuses to close the physical distance between you. At a party, he just seems to end up standing near you time and time again. In the office, he might choose the desk closer to yours. He might offer to walk with you to your car or linger at the end of an event just to get a few more minutes near you. This is often paired with subtle, seemingly accidental touches. He might gently brush his arm against yours as you walk, lightly touch your elbow to get your attention in a loud room, or place a brief, warm hand on your arm or shoulder when he laughs at your joke. These small touches are like little boundary tests, subconsciously gauging your reaction to his physical presence. A guy who is just a friend will typically be more mindful and respectful of your personal space bubble. The contact from a man who secretly likes you feels different, more charged, because the subconscious intent behind it is different. It's a tentative reach for connection. Pay close attention to how he reacts when you enter his space. If you lean in to show him something on your phone, does he lean in with you, welcoming the closeness, or does he pull back to create distance? A man who likes you will welcome that proximity because Subconsciously, that's exactly where he wants you to be. All right, let's take a quick pause. If these signs are starting to click and a certain someone is popping into your head, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you're finding this useful. And if you're serious about mastering human connection and want more deep dives into the psychology of attraction, make sure you hit subscribe and ring the notification bell. We have so much more to uncover together. Your support means everything. Okay, ready for sign number 4? This one often gets mistaken for disinterest, but it's actually the complete opposite. Sign number 4, the glitches in his system, nervous or shy behaviors. Attraction doesn't always look like smooth, suave confidence. In fact, more often than not, when a man is trying hard to hide his feelings, it manifests as the total opposite: nervousness, awkwardness, and fidgeting. Think of it as a glitch in his social programming. His brain desperately wants to be cool, calm, and collected around you, but the rush of adrenaline and cortisol that comes with being near someone you're attracted to can cause his entire system to short-circuit. One of the most common signs of this overload is fidgeting. When he's around you, does he suddenly not know what to do with his hands? He might constantly run his fingers through his hair, repeatedly adjust his tie or shirt collar, or nervously play with his watch. His body is coursing with nervous energy, and it has to be released somewhere. He's literally uncomfortable because he's trying to contain a powerful emotion, and this internal struggle leaks out through these small, repetitive movements. Another key indicator is a noticeable change in his voice. You might notice that his voice gets a little softer, higher in pitch, or maybe even a little deeper as he tries to sound more masculine. He might start talking much faster than usual, or worse, he stumbles over his words, losing his train of thought mid-sentence. He's normally quick-witted and articulate with everyone else, but with you, he sometimes forgets how to form a coherent sentence. That's not because he has nothing to say to you. It's because he has too much to say and is terrified of saying the wrong thing and ruining his chances. A guy who sees you as just a friend will typically be relaxed and speak to you with the same ease and cadence he uses with everyone else. Shy or avoidant behavior can also be a major clue, especially if he's a normally confident and outgoing person. He might seem hesitant to approach you, or he might suddenly and awkwardly end a great conversation, leaving you completely confused. This hot and cold behavior can be frustrating, but it's often a clear sign of a powerful internal battle. He desperately wants to be near you, but his fear of vulnerability and rejection becomes so overwhelming that he pulls back to feel safe again. The key is to notice the change in his normal behavior. You are the variable that causes the glitch in his system. While it might seem like a negative sign, this nervousness is a powerful indicator that you have a real, significant emotional impact on him. Sign number 5. The unspoken confession, subtle facial expressions. While he might be choosing his words with extreme care, a man's face will often betray him with a series of involuntary micro-expressions. These are fleeting flashes of his true emotions that can last for less than a second, but they are impossible to fake and nearly impossible to suppress. Sign number 5 is all about learning to read these powerful, unspoken confessions that flash across his face. The first and most important expression to watch for is the genuine smile, also known as a Duchenne smile. A polite social smile is just the mouth. A real smile of genuine joy and delight is an entire face affair. It involves not only the corners of the mouth turning up, but also the muscles around the eyes contracting, creating little crinkles at the corners, often called crow's feet. When he sees you, does his whole face light up? Does the smile truly reach his eyes, making them sparkle? That's an involuntary reaction of genuine delight at your presence. Next, watch for the quick eyebrow flash. This is a very rapid, almost unnoticeable raising of the eyebrows for just a fraction of a second when he first sees you across a room or when you join a conversation. In the universal language of the body, it's a subconscious signal of recognition and positive interest. It's his brain's way of saying, "Oh, there you are. I'm happy to see you." While it can be a general friendly greeting, if you notice he does it consistently and specifically with you, its significance multiplies. Blushing is another dead giveaway that he absolutely cannot control. When we feel strong emotions like attraction or embarrassment, blood vessels in our face dilate, causing a rush of blood to the cheeks, nose, or even the neck. If you give him a sincere compliment or engage in a slightly intimate conversation and see that telltale color rise in his cheeks, that's his body physically responding to the emotional charge of the moment. A confident guy who prides himself on being cool might be especially embarrassed by this reaction, which, paradoxically, makes it an even more reliable sign of his true feelings. Finally, pay attention to the subtle things he does with his mouth. Involuntary lip-biting, lip-licking, or lip-touching can be strong indicators of attraction and nervousness. When he's listening intently to you, he might gently bite his lower lip or purse his lips. This can be a sign of holding something back. In this case, his feelings or words he wishes he could say. These micro-expressions are the truth serum of body language. A man can say you're just friends all day long, but if his face is telling a much more interesting and romantic story, you should probably listen to it. Sign number 6, the open invitation, posture and presence. While some signs of attraction show up as nervous, closed-off behaviors, another powerful set of signs is all about openness, vulnerability, and trust. Sign number 6 is observing how a man uses his posture to create an open and inviting presence, subconsciously signaling that he is receptive and accessible to you, and only you. The most basic and essential sign is keeping his arms uncrossed. From a psychological and evolutionary perspective, crossing our arms is often a defensive gesture, creating a physical barrier to protect our vital organs. A man who's interested in you will often subconsciously keep the space between you open and clear of any such barriers. He wants nothing between you. In conjunction with this, he might also stand a little taller, pull his shoulders back, and puff out his chest slightly. This isn't just about looking bigger or more dominant. It's a primal way of displaying health and confidence, presenting himself to you in the best possible light. When sitting, an open posture can be even more revealing. A man who likes you will often sit in a way that takes up more space and is oriented toward you. A particularly telling sign is how he positions his legs. If he's sitting opposite you, he may sit with his legs spread open in what body language experts call a crotch display. While it may sound crude, it is a very open and vulnerable gesture. It signals deep comfort and a lack of inhibition around you. If he's more reserved, he might cross his legs, but pay attention to the direction. The top leg will often be pointed in your direction, continuing that theme of orienting his body toward you as his point of interest. This overall open posture is a subconscious invitation. He's non-verbally communicating, I am open to you, I am comfortable with you, I trust you. It's a huge contrast to someone who is disinterested, who might angle their body away, create physical barriers by placing a bag, laptop, or drink between you, or cross their arms and legs in a closed-off manner. This sign is about looking for an overall pattern of relaxation and openness in his posture. It signals that despite any surface-level nerves he might have at his core, he feels comfortable and safe with you, a true cornerstone of deep and lasting attraction. Sign number 7, the psychological shift, seriousness, and a careful approach. The final sign is perhaps the most complex and most profound. It's not just a fleeting piece of body language, it's a deep psychological shift in his entire demeanor when he's with you. When a man who is usually laid back, goofy, and spontaneous starts treating his interactions with you with an unusual and intense level of seriousness, it's a massive sign that his feelings have deepened. He's now interested, and he's terrified of messing things up. You might notice that while he jokes around and banters playfully with others, his conversations with you become more focused and more meaningful. He asks probing questions about your life, your passions, your fears, and your dreams. And he doesn't just ask. He listens to your answers with a real, palpable intensity. He remembers the little details, the name of your childhood pet you mentioned weeks ago, or the specific project you were stressed about. This isn't just him being a good listener. This is him actively gathering data, trying to understand you on a profound level. He's taking the process of getting to know you very, very seriously. This seriousness can also show up as him being overly careful or even seeming rehearsed. He might seem less spontaneous around you because in his mind, the stakes feel infinitely higher. With his friends, he can say anything without consequence. With you, every word is weighed and measured. He's running a constant internal monologue. What will she think if I say that? Was that funny? Did I sound stupid? This intense fear of making a mistake can sometimes make him seem quiet, boring, or distant. But what you might interpret as a lack of personality is actually an excess of care. Another facet of this psychological shift is when he might act a bit macho or try too hard to impress you. He might casually, or not so casually, talk up his accomplishments at work, showcase a skill, or take an overtly protective stance over you in social settings. This is often a mask for his underlying vulnerability. He feels emotionally exposed by his feelings for you, so he overcompensates by trying to project strength, competence, and value. A man who only sees you as a friend won't have this filter. He'll be his normal, unedited self. The sudden shift into this careful, serious, and protective mode is a direct result of his hidden feelings. It's the ultimate sign that, in his mind, what's between you is anything but just friends. So, there you have it. The 7 undeniable signs that a man has trouble hiding his deeper feelings, no matter how hard he tries to play it cool. From the subconscious signals flashing in his eyes to the deep psychological shift in his behavior, his body is often telling a story that his words aren't yet ready to confess. You've got the prolonged, meaningful eye contact that feels like he's looking into your soul. The unconscious dance of mirroring, where his body syncs up with yours. The magnetic pull that keeps his body oriented toward you, even in a crowded room. The glitches of nervous energy, the fidgeting and fumbling that show you have a real, tangible effect on him. The unspoken confessions in his micro-expressions, like that genuine eye-crinkling smile he can't hold back. The open, inviting posture that signals trust and vulnerability. And finally, that surprising seriousness that shows he's not just playing around. He sees you as someone truly important and worth the effort. The key is not to look for just one of these signs in isolation. It's about recognizing the pattern, a cluster of these behaviors happening consistently over time. A single long glance might just be an accident, but when you see 3, 4, or even all 7 of these signs working together, you can be much more confident that what you're sensing is real. One snowflake doesn't make a blizzard, but a consistent flurry tells you a storm of emotion is brewing. This knowledge is your power. It allows you to navigate the confusing world of unspoken attraction with more clarity and confidence. It lets you move forward, whether you decide to make a subtle move yourself, give him an encouraging sign to ease his fears, or just enjoy the quiet certainty of knowing how he truly feels. Trust your intuition, but verify it with these telling signs. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these signs have you noticed recently? Is there a guy in your life sending these signals right now? Share your story in the comments below. Reading through the experiences of this community is one of the best ways for all of us to learn and feel less alone in these confusing situations. Thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful and gave you some clarity, please give it a like and subscribe for more insights into the human heart. Until next time, till